Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, the 12th, and just for an update, excuse me, my heel is feeling a whole lot better after I guess working yesterday. Granted, it was hurting for a little bit when I got home. I put on a an ointment, basically a balm of sorts that creates a heat effect. It's not icy hot. It's sorry, I forgot the name of it. It's in the other room, and I don't want to go look for it. But it is. It looks like a deodorant stick that you can basically rub onto the points that you need to basically put it on. So I woke up this morning, and this morning it's more of a not a painful situation. It's more like an annoying twinge, I guess I'd call it. But because of me trying to favor my heel last night, my knee started hurting, which I thought it was jointal, or not jointal, arthritic, but the way the weather was yesterday, I don't know what it was. I'm also going to apologize for this cough. Jerry surprised me this morning with basically she got breakfast, and while I was trying to eat one of my McGriddles, yes, it was McDonald's. Um, I guess I wasn't done swallowing the piece of food that I just swallowed, and I tried to take a drink of tea and just started coughing. I had like a spasm, and now it's more like a bronchial wheeze. So I don't know if something went down the wrong pipe for a second. I don't know. I can't tell. um, After this video, I'm probably going to do something my dad used to do when I was having problems with my throat and breathing, and that was basically literally take a spoonful of honey and eat that. Sounds weird, but it actually does the job. So I'm sorry if my coughing while trying to do this video is a issue for you guys. I don't mean to have issues anymore. In fact, today I am basically jumping off the Trump wagon, or whatever you want to call it. I just want to apologize for that because I had gotten a whole, while I was gone, I wasn't even looking at anything. And when I got home, um, my mailbox was kind of full of stuff, and I just kind of went. Um, I just worry about the state of this nation, and I know a lot of people say pray. I do pray. It's just I've learned over the last 48 years, or at least 28 years, prayer does not always do the job alone. You have to have some form of action. Um, and I think it even says that in the Bible, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. But anyhow, um, I have some positive news, and I'm going to insert the picture either at the very beginning or the very end of this video. I have outside of my front door a large, it's the bottom of a potted plant where the water, it's like the reservoir for the water when it goes through the pot. It's a big ceramic thing that I have on a baker's rack by my front door, by my mailbox. And when Jenny Ann and I set up the little fairy garden in it, we did not think of like the little house that's on the in the fairy garden had a broken roof, so the roof was kind of peeling up, but it was staying attached to the house. And a bird this year finally built a nest in it. And at first, because the bird built the nest, and I lost track of where the bird was, and didn't see evidence of the bird in the nest for quite some time. And I'm kind of glad where the bird is sitting because this particular bird is. I finally got a picture. I finally saw him or her. It's one of our nuthatches that have visited our suet cake and our bird feeder off and on. And I'm happy where he put it because it's in an area that even though if the wind's blowing just right, it does get a little breezy in that area, but he's protected from he's protected from the rain and from direct sunlight and from other birds attacking his nest, because we got blue jays, and anybody who knows blue jays have a tendency to attack and destroy nests and eggs. Well, this morning I went out there to check for mail, and we had some packages, and my bird wasn't there, and I'm guessing that he either went off, she went off to get a feed, or the mailman had just dropped off the boxes and left, and I came out seconds after the mailman, so the bird did not return to the nest. But I have a video that's very grainy, and I don't want to put it on here, but I have a 20-minute video of watching the nest, and you see the bird come back and go into the nest box, and I was like, well, that's great. Well, this morning, or actually yesterday, I should say, yesterday I kind of took a peek into the nest, and I saw little round blue objects in there, and I'm like, is there eggs in there? And I didn't think about going back and doing it, but this morning I went, and I got the mail, several packages for Jerry, of course. I don't mean it. I don't mean to sound wrong about that, but what I mean by, of course, is right now she's getting a lot of gifts and whatnot, pre-birthday gifts to set up for a 50th. Her 50th birthday is going to be a Harry Potter theme, and we're doing like decor. We're thinking about different. She found various recipes for Harry Potter theme type recipes. Her friend from Florida, who's actually going to be coming out here, for her daughter's birthday, had made a sorting hat and put inside the sorting hat a receiver for a walkie-talkie, so somebody could be hiding in a different room and talking in a voice to make it sound like they're sorting people into their houses, basically. So we're all excited about that, and I got my schedule for the next 2 weeks. I have tomorrow off, and then the next 2 weeks I have like Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. So we're going to be cleaning up the house and getting the guest rooms ready for our guests, and we're thinking about renting a storage facility for all the extra stuff that we don't think we're going to have room for, because we want to use the formal dining room, and we got to clean that up. We have this room that's got a queen size guest bed. We need to clean it up for everybody. Her craft area, which needs a major overhaul and clean, has a fold out futon type couch that becomes a futon bed. So we're like, well, two, one, that's five, and then me, I'll sleep on the front in the living room couch, and then Mom may be leaving for a visit to a friend of hers back in Dayton, Ohio. So we're progressing slowly, but it's happening so fast. I'm losing my track, basically. But anyhow, I got the mail and whatnot, and of course our food delivery came at the same time, and I decided, bird hasn't been around for a little bit. Let's just quietly and gently, without touching the nest, take a snapshot inside. And so I got a snapshot, and hopefully I remember to put the picture in this video. You will see 4 little bluish colored eggs. And I'm like, oh man, it's going to be great when these things hatch, because not that I don't want to disturb the nest, but every time I go outside to check the mail, one of the parent birds, or whatever parent bird is sitting on the nest, may fly away, and I'll be able to hear the beautiful sound of 4 little chicks cheeping away. Anyhow, trying to shake off the emotions. This is one of the many things I love in life, nature. Excuse me. course, the downside with my love for nature is the pollen factor during the spring and fall. It can be very irritating to my eyes, to my nose, to my throat. Um, but anyhow, I I am going to do a deep apology for those who were either offended or took offense to some of the things I might have said in the last two videos. Like I said earlier, I came home from vacation and I hadn't checked my mailbox the whole 5 days I was gone, and I got bombarded with all kinds of stuff. Some of it nonsense. Some of it was just like, really, this is happening. We've got enough issues with COVID. We don't need all these other issues. That in a factor, I get information from a couple of different groups that I tried to basically, I'm trying to have them stop sending me emails because I do get upset with some of the things that are coming across about the national parks losing money and having to fire people and little things like that. That is just kind of like, I understand because of the state of the nation, but opening up. Um, one of them I got, which I don't really want to repeat, but it really irritated me because it's like, really, you're going that far. Now, I know some of these groups have been, the reason why I want to leave them is because they're starting to pump out information that, according to my other resources, are not true. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to stay away from the groups that want to start pumping out false information. But anyhow, back to a little bit more of a positive track. Besides the birds and the nest full of eggs, which was like, oh my gosh, it's one thing that I have starlings living above, or actually, they're kind of living under a rafter, under a gutter, inside one of my pillars for my garage. Now, or not my garage, my carport. I don't have a garage. And I have no. I don't like starlings because they're bullies, but I have no desire to basically try to keep them from doing what nature intended them to do, because I can go out there and they'll fly away from the nest box, or the nesting area. I don't know why I keep on saying box. Um, and I can hear their chicks crying out, and it's like, man, for as much bullying they do and for as nasty as they can be, just the sound of their babies alone is just like, why? How can I be so mean not mean, mad? That's the word, mad. I'm not mean to them. I just get mad because of the fact that they're bullies. I put out my suet cake, and they literally fight each other off the suet cake just for their turn. And they chase off all the other birds from the other bird feeder. And I'm trying to think of, how can I move the suet cake from where it is to some place the raccoons can't get to it. I'm having a hard enough time keeping the raccoons out of my trash can because the lid has areas they can pry up and go into, even though I put the strap that's supposed to hold the lid down. They seem to get into my garbage anyhow. But I once had the suet cake lowered to the ground because I didn't want to try to hang it high on a tree. But I'm starting to think, maybe if I hang it on the clothesline hook, and then when I need to use a clothesline, I can remove the. But the thing is, birds have memory. Now, a lot of people say birds don't remember where things are. They do. Because for a time when I didn't have suet cake, they would fly over to where I had the suet cake. And the reason why I moved the suet cake, because of the raccoons, and the raccoons were stealing the cage just to get to the suet cake, even though I strapped the cage closed with zip ties. They still were able to get to the suet cake. So I had moved it to a hook on the porch that we use for the one bird feeder plus holiday hanging decor, wind chime type things. But I'm thinking, well, it's that time of year where all the birds are looking. My bird feeder is running low. I need to go out and buy bird seed. I have suet cakes, and I'm thinking if I put the suet cakes out, how fast are they going to disappear because of the starlings and all the other birds looking for food for their babies and whatnot? So it's kind of one of those like, is it a dilemma? Is it just do it and let it be? It's one of those situations. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, yeah. I think tomorrow I'm going to put out a suet cake just to let the birds have the food. Because why buy the food if you're not going to put it out for the birds? You know. Anyhow, sorry, I keep on clearing my throat because of this. Whatever happened to me this morning. Sorry. Um, Combination of catching my breath and catching my brain. I'm trying to slow down my brain because it's like, yes, you have to go to work today at 2. I was at work. Well, let's talk about work real quick. Nothing bad. Nothing bad at all. Just a minor complaint. Well, yeah, okay. It's not bad because I'm not complaining about anybody. I'm just telling you what happened. So as you all know, I took some time off to go to Ohio. Anybody who is connected to Jerry Ann's website or channel might have seen her link to. I'm trying to think. Was it Instagram? Yeah, I think it was Instagram. Her Instagram account has a couple pictures from my cousin Sydney's graduation party. She's a sweet kid. I talked to her. I talked about her yesterday. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She knows what she's trying to do. She knows what she wants to do and where to go. Her younger sister has gotten interested in the medical profession. Now I don't know if she wants to be a medical transcriptionist, yeah, medical transcriptionist, or a doctor, or if she wants to follow her mom, who's she works. Her mom works in the maternity ward at the hospital. So my mom had two old, I'll say about a decade or so old, maybe 20 years old, medical books. Now I know they're probably a little outdated, and she can probably get more up to date books, but we figured to start her out so she can start learning the lingo and whatnot. To give her these two old medical books that my mom had for when she was a medical transcriptionist. So we started her with that. Um, Now I know Sydney got into Ohio State because she was one of the top 5 or top 10 drum majorettes for her school. She doesn't think she's going to pursue it because of the fact that there's a lot more involved than she realized when it comes to college level. But she is thinking about something to do with the. I thought she said something to do with the band because that's what got her into this Ohio State with she's starting out with already under her belt 24 college credits. Wow, that's what I have to say about that. But I'm happy for her. I'm glad her kids are hit. Yeah, not Sydney's kids. No, 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 no. Philip and Tara's kids. My first cousin. Sydney is a second cousin. But anyhow, um, I I hope that they can come and visit. If they do, it's going to be interesting because that means either A, we need to get 2 air mattresses for the girls, for Sydney and Riley. I don't think they're going to make it though because the fact of the way things were sounding was their summer sounds pretty full between their jobs, Sydney getting ready for college. If they come, it's going to be like they'll drive down probably with mom Well, maybe not, because Sydney can drive. I just don't know if Sydney's driven an 8+ hour drive from Ohio to here, or maybe they'll get a bus. I don't know. If they come, we'll just have to figure it out. But I'm not holding my breath on those two because, like I said, they Riley works 2 to 3 jobs. Sydney works two jobs, and they're all part-time jobs, or work 2 days here, work 2 days there, and have 1 or 2 days at a third job, and then have 1 day off or something like that. I don't know, but they got their lives in better shape than I did when I was their age. So I'm not going to fault them for working as hard as they do. Um, Yesterday, I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. Like I said yesterday, um, things are happening really quickly, and my brain is in overdrive, and I'm trying to do as much as I can without putting myself in a hurt locker. Um, it's bad enough that when I got back from Ohio, that I was having heel problems from, I get, like I said, I think the way I was sitting in the car too long, is the culprit. When I rub it, it does not feel like, I don't feel a lump or any kind of spur. So I don't think it's a bone spur. I think it was just muscle tension that was too tight, and I tried to start walking on it the wrong way, and the muscle was just like, no, 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 no. So I think that's all it is, because it's slowly working its way out. From what I've been told by people who have bone spurs, it's a constant no get away from type pain. You have to literally go get it fixed. So I'm thankful I don't have to do that, because I don't have the money, and currently I don't have insurance. We are battling with the insurance company because of some sort of misunderstanding or something going on. So right now I don't have insurance. Um, if I wanted insurance right now, they're saying that I need to pay them like 5,200 or 52,000 or some high number like that, and I'm like, I barely got enough money to basically make ends meet right now, because most of the money I had saved up, or Jay and I had saved up, was for this trip to Ohio. Um, Granted, I don't regret spending the money for Ohio. Um, we should be allowed to basically do fun things like that every so often. Um, Unfortunately, well, I'm not gonna say. But anyhow, sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place. I didn't even talk about work. I am so sorry that I'm not only going speaking a mile a minute and talking like crazy, but like I said, my brain is on overload. But anyhow, work. Yesterday, my first day back. Now, I wasn't hoping for the best, but I wasn't hoping for the worst. What is the saying? It goes, plan for the best, be prepared for the worst, or something like that. I forgot how that saying goes. But anyhow, I went to work. People were like, "Oh yeah, you're back." I'm like, "Oh no, they're happy I'm back. Something's wrong." Um, of course, that's more my brain goes instantaneously. But I had gotten a little magnet for my supervisor, and a magnet for an old friend that I'm working with again. And then I had gotten a little jar of jelly that I was going to give to one of my coworkers, because her little daughter, as I put it, has taken a shine to me, and she's happy to see me every time she comes in the store. So I figured, you know what? I think she likes strawberry jam. Who doesn't like strawberry? Whether I can't remember if it said jam or jelly, but who doesn't like strawberry? I mean, okay, I don't. I'm really not a fan of strawberry. Must be getting close to noon. Time for nose spray. But anyhow, I also brought in with me a little bag of what they call Buckeyes, and Ohio is known as the Buckeye State. It's a type of nut. But the Buckeyes I brung in were actually little pieces of candy that looked like a Buckeye. It had peanut butter ball in the middle with chocolate coating on the outside. So I shared those. I also brought myself, just to stay awake because I'm trying to stay away from soda for a while, um, the bag of chocolate covered espresso beans. Boy, that was a mistake. I popped two of those, chewed them up, swallowed them, and 30 to 45 minutes later, I was all over the place. I mean, we got slammed from 4:30 to close, 10 o'clock. And even though we were there almost an extra hour, we were there until almost 11 o'clock at night, 45 minutes longer than we should have. I did my best to get that store cleaned up. Now, my only two complaints about work yesterday is the volume of people. It's like crazy. I mean, 4:30 hits, everybody's getting off work, and wow. I'm hoping we have an extra body tonight because Friday nights are usually even worse. So I'm kind of like, I'm probably gonna end up having to pop two espresso beans. Um, but the other thing was Monday when I wasn't here was truck delivery, and whoever put away the cigarettes and tobacco is like, you're fired because there was no organizational pattern to it. It was just shoved in a hole where we can find a hole. So tonight, if it's not too busy, I'm probably going to end up fixing that. Now, one of the things that my supervisor asked me to do, and I told her I'd try my best, and I actually got it done, was we had in front of the register is a row of shelves, small shelves, and we put our gum and certain kinds of candy, the rolled candy like Altos and Lifesavers down there. So she had a roll of pricing labels to put there. And she said, do your best. And she even gave me this, what looks like, those rolling sheets that you see mechanics on because they're working underneath the car and they can sit on that with their tools underneath them and reach, look up. She had one of those. So she said, use this, just roll yourself back and forth to do it. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, well, do it because, just use this because it will save your back and your knees. I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. At first I didn't think I was going to get it done. And then I was like, you know what? I can do my best to get them done in between customers. Just make sure that this rolling seat, whatever you want to call it, is not in anybody's way because you don't want them to trip and get hurt because then that's a liability on you. Got it done, no problem. So I'm just hoping with the fact that I wrote a note apologizing for the things I might not have gotten done because of how busy we were, and we spent the last 45 minutes of the day basically cleaning. And it's not that I needed the extra 45 minutes to clean my lobby area and whatnot. I actually helped in the kitchen because earlier that day, somebody had placed a plastic pan on the roller for the pizza oven, and these pans are used for like when we're done with the donuts, we put the donuts on these pans to put them in the donut cart to keep them fresh. Well, they didn't catch it in time, and it got into the oven and melted. So my kitchen guy had to basically turn on the oven to heat everything up so he can clean it and get all the plastic off. And that was not exactly a pleasant smell. I'm so glad I had my mask on because I'm pretty sure if I did not have my mask on, that smell would have been like, oh my Lord, knock somebody out with that. But we got it done. Jerry, of course, called me at 10 till 11 going, where are you? You said you told me you were going to be a little late, but this is just late. And I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you everything when I get home, yada, yada, yada. So I did that. And it took me, well, as soon as I got a bite to eat, I jumped on the computer to answer a bunch of your comments, which I had no problem with. Um, excuse me. I'm doing that because it's polite, and I've had one or two people ask me not to do it on front of the camera. So I'm trying to be as polite as possible. Um, so between answering comments on the computer last night and playing Civilization, which is a boring turn-based, relaxing type game, I didn't get into bed until 2 a.m. and probably didn't fall asleep until 2:23 or something like that. Because I think I should have only taken one espresso bean instead of two. Um, but that was work last night. It was, yeah, it was the usual craziness. But for some reason, and maybe this is just because of familiarity or whatnot, but for some reason, for a job that I don't always like and sometimes want to leave, the familiarity of the routine and the job and just doing what I have to do there felt not uncomfortable, but it was a comfortable feeling of just, it breaks up. I think the reason why a lot of people like working is it breaks up the dullness of staying home and basically being, whether you're stuck at home because of quarantine issues or you're stuck at home because of health issues or you're just retired and don't have anything outside the home to do, which I know a couple of people like that in my family. One of them is my aunt from St. Louis. And my aunt in Ohio, granted, she is stuck home most of the time, but she has her garden and she has her puzzle, or, yeah, she has her garden. I don't know if she has her puzzles or not because puzzles are mostly my uncle's. He likes crossword puzzles. I think she does mostly like knitting, crocheting, sewing, things like that, just to keep her busy. But anyhow, um, the last thing well, not exactly the last thing I want to do, but the next thing I want to show you is while we were gone, I got a delivery from Amazon. I've ordered some stuff from Amazon lately because I'm looking to replace old drafting stuff because I want to get into that once things start to settle down after Jerry's birthday, because I think I'm going to be too busy to do anything but Jerry's birthday until after the fact. Sorry, I was looking for something and I can't find it. Anyhow, but this particular item, I didn't really, well, I did need, but I didn't really need because I have some older templates. But these templates are better than what I had. So I got them, and they're, oh, oh, oh. Now I like the packaging because the package, when I pulled out the template, shows a, hold on, let me get that sticker or whatnot out of the way. Shows a basic floor plan and how to use your templates. And it shows like all the doors and all the markings and different types of floor plans, I guess you'd say, or one particular type of house. But it's three different, let's see if I can hold these up just right. There's three different templates. Each one of them has certain basics. This first one is called Furniture Template, and as you can see, it has different designs for different types, different size tables, bookcases, cabinets of one form or a number, different tables. This is supposed to be a king size bed here, and then you've got like baby grand piano, different types of seating arrangements or chairs, a computer, TV type template. Then you've got what they call the house plan, and you see this jigsaw, this this right here, this ridge, and then these, I don't know if you can see these bumps here. They're for making staircases. You know, you line it up at a certain angle and you do staircases. Then this right here, and it's got lines down here, is roof pitches. Pitches for a roof. Then it's got like different types of doors, pocket doors, folding door, um, sinks, stoves, tabletops. Um, this is more for like bathrooms and doors, because I see up here you've got different types of commodes, sinks, things like that, which I thought was cool because like the old template I had was a generic, one of a kind type toilet design. And I'm like, well, there's all different kinds of toilet designs. In fact, I have to look at this again because I thought I saw it. Yeah, they have a little template where my finger is sticking through for a bidet. A bidet. How many American drafters use bidets? But of course, since you get this from Amazon, they're trying to make it for all forms of bathrooms. American bathrooms, European bathrooms. Maybe an American person who has enough money and enough room in a bathroom to put in a bidet instead of using toilet paper, which in some ways you think about it. If you're using a bidet instead of toilet paper, you're actually saving some money because you don't have to buy toilet paper, and then that toilet paper doesn't have to go through a sewage plant, or however they clean toilet paper and whatnot out of sewage. It's one of those things that makes me go, how do they do that? Now, I've only been past one sewage refinery, or whatever you want to call them, and this was back when I was a kid, and I can't remember if it was traveling someplace or it was somewhere here in the States. And let me just tell you this much: if you ever lived on a farm and you know what a barn smells like with the horse manure, the cow manure, and the pig manure, yeah, you know what a sewage plant smells like, because you take that smell from the farm and times it by 2, it kind of get nasty. But anyhow, this last template is basically interior design, kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom. So you got your door sizes. You've got like a corner bathroom setup. You've got your right here, your right here, your stove, your kitchen sinks, a refrigerator, freezer, basically your cabinetry, your compactor, dishwasher, dryer, laundry sink, washer, sewing machine table, microwaves, shower, bathtubs, bedroom design, vanity, corner vanity, stool, dressers, youth bed, twin bed, king, queen, full. This right here is supposed to be a fold out sofa bed. Unless your wingback chair, your armchair, wardrobe, closet wardrobe, plants, ceiling fans, crib, feeding table, playpen, bassinet, play table, rocker, high chair, regular chair. They're putting everything in there for you now. They're basically making it where you can literally draw out the outlines of your room and then use that template to put all your furniture. It's like wild. And I was looking at it when I first got it, and I'm sitting there going, wow, these templates are specifically, you want it, it's going to tell you about it and show you it, and you can just decide where you want to set it up. I was showing these to Jerry, and she goes, man, you can get really specific. You can draw out your floor plan and put in your furniture and interior design and all the little tidbits that most most blueprints, when you see most blueprints, sorry for the noise, most blueprints, they're going to show you the walls, the closet, the doors, the electrical outlets. That's it. They're not going to show you the furniture or any of that stuff. You have to get somebody to come along and do a floor plan, or not a floor plan, a interior design plan with the cabinetries and the furniture and all that fun stuff. I like doing both. I like doing the actual blueprint where all you see is your walls and whatnot. Then I like going in and having a separate sheet or whatnot, or let's say for right now, because factor I'm not my drafting right now for my dream home with the different rooms and whatnot. I'm doing everything. Um, I'm doing the footprint of the room, and then I'm doing the set. Ooh, what was that? I just stabbed my foot with something. Okay, I have no idea what this is. Sorry, squirrel. Anyhow, I like doing it all. I like doing where the table is going to sit and the cabinet's going to sit and the whole shebang. Um, what I just stubbed my toe on or stabbed my toe with was a piece of. It looked like the stem of a incense. So I gotta watch myself sometimes. But anyhow, that's what I got from Amazon. I'm gonna end this not only because of the fact that it's another almost 50-minute video with a verse of the day. For those of you who've been I don't know if I should use the word silent, or for those of you who haven't basically been making a lot of comments, I know one of you made one or two comments about getting back to what I was doing before the whole Trump fiasco. Actually, before I read this, I want to basically, I know it's going to be another long one, and I'm sorry. Not only do I want to apologize, even though some of you might say, "Oh, that wasn't necessary. You don't have to apologize. It's your channel. You can do whatever and say whatever you want." I do want to apologize because I don't want to, not that I don't want to lose anybody. And they're the people who want to leave because some of the things I've been saying is up to them. I do want to apologize to those of you who have stood by and let me be me. I normally, and I said this once before, and I'm trying to get back to it. I normally don't talk a lot about politics. Two reasons why. One, I'm not big on politics. I'm just a simple person who wants to live their life out, and I want everybody to be at peace with each other. And what's been going on lately in our nation, especially in our nation with the I don't want to call them all riots because not all of them are riots. A lot of them are peaceful protests to make changes and reform, to make our country better for all mankind. Not just for the one percenters, not just for the, I hate using color, but for the white people. America is literally the melting pot of the world. We have every nationality, color, creed, religion, ethic. Basically, if you can find it in one part of the world, it's probably somewhere here in America. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Trump. I know a lot of people don't like Obama. I know a lot of people didn't like Clinton. We've had presidents throughout. We've had presidents since America was America. From George Washington to Donald Trump, there's been a president. Not everybody liked whatever president was in charge of the country. I honor and respect the office of the presidency. don't always honor or respect the person in the seat of presidency. But like I said, every president has had a person or a group of people who did not like the person. Didn't mean they didn't like the office. So I apologize for anything that I have said that may have rubbed somebody wrong. Um, you can't, what's the saying? You can't make everybody happy all the time. So I don't attempt to try to make everybody happy. The only person or persons other than God that I need to make happy is myself and my wife. Now, I put my wife above myself because of the fact that that's who I am. I was basically born and raised to be of service, not to be served. Um, it has taken me, still takes me, time to get used to the fact that I don't have to do everything on my own anymore because I'm married. Well, it. There are good days and there are bad days. Excuse me again. And sometimes, especially with me, it's not just a bad day, it could be a bad week, depending on my frame of mind or what's going on. Part of that is on myself because just the way my mind sometimes works. Now, the second thing is why I don't talk about politics that much is because everybody has their views. Whether it's something to do with Donald Trump, something to do with the Congress, something to do with the House of Representatives. Politics is one of those things where I look at politics in a historical manner. And it's probably one of the reasons why I don't always agree with Republicans. Because if you look through history, you will realize that one of the largest empires known to man was Rome. Rome was 90% Republican. It fell. Why did it fall? Because of internal strife. It's the simplest thing. It fell, the whole Roman Empire fell apart because of internal strife. Now, if the Roman Empire did not have the internal strife that it did have, it could have conquered all of Europe and part of Asia. That's how big the Roman Empire was. The only nearby empire that was able to keep Rome at bay was Egypt. So, and of course, according to historical information, the biggest thing that destroyed Rome itself was the fact that Rome was trying to stretch itself too far, and it ran into the Norsemen and their various barbarian tribes that they were in contact with. And it was I don't think it was a Norse, because if I remember right, it was a Mythogoth or pre-German tribe and its king that said, no, we're not going to bow, we're not going to give you what you want, we're not going to let you take over our territory. He gathered massive number of other barbarian tribes in the area and marched on Rome. And they got to the doorstep of the Roman Empire capital. And the Caesar, or the ruling emperor of the time, went, what can I give you to make you go away? And they said, everything you have in your treasury, and bankrupt Rome. History of the day, history. And my biggest fear is America is doomed to repeat the same thing. It might not be barbarians at our doorstep. It might be somebody somewhere in the world with enough technological hacking capabilities that bankrupts America. if we don't do it to ourselves first. That's my take on it. That's both political and historical information, or the way I see it. It might not be the way you see it, but let's just put it this way. I fear that America is doomed to repeat Rome's historical information. So, you know. But anyhow, getting off that track. I've been told by a couple people, don't talk religion, don't talk politics. Okay, I can understand politics because politics can be from an individual's viewpoint or aspects of what they know. I'm not, I mean, I know enough about politics to realize that people need to just start shutting up and working together to make America better for Americans. And I don't mean just people who are citizens of America, but I mean we need to be bringing back industry that ended up going away. A bulk of our a bulk of the industry that we used to have here in the States have moved to foreign soil. Detroit, Michigan, for example, was the auto industry of the States. It was the biggest auto industry in America. It's becoming a ghost town because the fact that most of the auto industry have gone to foreign countries because it's cheaper for them to make our vehicles over there and then ship them over here. Why do we have to do that? Why? It was becoming more and more expensive and difficult for American industries to stay open because of the cost of labor. Well, if we would have basically just adjusted prices and adjusted manufacturing methods and stuff like that, we wouldn't have had to go overseas. We'd still be making American cars on American soil. And if you want to think that American cars like Ford, and I think even Chevy, and maybe even Dodge, if you open up the hood and look at all the different parts and whatnot, some of those parts have Asiatic writing on it. Why? Because it was made over there. Simple as that. One of the biggest known textile plants in America that made Levi jeans. Levi jeans are practically they're a rarity, and when you do find a good pair of Levi jeans at a store, they cost buku money. Why? Simply put, it's made here in America, and it costs money to have American products. Okay? I love getting stuff from Wish. Problem is, it's made in China. It's cheap and expensive. What are most people going for nowadays? Cheap and inexpensive. The downside with cheap and inexpensive is 9 times out of 10, they're good for a short period. Good pair of Levi jeans. You know how long the last pair of Levi jeans I had? I had a pair of Levi jeans that lasted me a couple years before I outgrew them. A lot of products you get from China are foreign manufacturers, and I'm not trying to down foreign manufacturers. They don't last that long. They rip too easily. I had a pair of pants. I can't remember. I think it was made somewhere in South America, and I'm not dissing anybody for it. I put them on. I wore them. I stretched, and guess what happened? The crotch ripped out. The place in the crotch where everything meets in the middle and gets sewn together ripped out on me. I only had that pair of pants for a week. I know I didn't grow that fast. I mean, but anyhow, this video is going to be extremely long, and I'm sorry. I don't try to put anybody down. I do not try to aggravate anybody. I do not try to diss anybody or anything. I try my best to speak my mind to the truest point that I can be. I was also asked not. I was also suggested not to talk about other comments or other videos from the past. I have put down in one person's comment who is asking me my resources. So you can find my resources under her comment. I think most of you know who she is. It's fine, Danny. She asked for it. She wanted to know where I got my information. So I gave her my list of locations or titles to look for. Two of the resources that I put in there are from countries that don't write everything in English. One from Norway, one from a newspaper in Norway, and a newspaper from Germany. Thankfully, Google does do translations. At least mine does. I don't know about everybody else's. So hopefully I put some people at ease or at rest. Now, the other thing that people have asked me not to talk about, and maybe I should have put this in a different video, so I don't know, is religion. Well, here's the issue with religion. Not everybody has the same Bible. Not everybody follows the same Christian religious. I mean, there's Catholics, there's Christians, there's Pentecostals, there's Baptists, there's Presbyterians. Latter-day Saint, well, yeah, they do follow the Christian Bible. There's the massive title and placement on religion. I don't see titles. I see, okay, I read the Bible. It doesn't matter if it's the NIV, American Standard. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's based on the original Bible as best as we can get it. Now, there's modern day Bibles that try to put the language in modern day terminology, which I think up to the King James Version, the terminology was as close to the, I don't want to put a title on them, but unfortunately I'm going to, the English authors, there we go, English authors, those who translated it from its original text to English. And my research has been telling me that there is many chapters or many verses from the original, and I'm talking about the original, not the Franciscan monks. I am talking about the Hebrew, Aramaic, Latin, Greek, English, or not English, yeah, Hebrew, Aramaic, Latin, and Greek wording texts. Especially they're finding out now that they're finding more of the Dead Sea Scrolls or some of the original texts that were hidden away in caverns and caves and whatnot around the Dead Sea area. That the English, well, that we're finding now that's not even in the Bible. And we're also finding out that some of the original texts that were being translated by the Franciscan monks, the Catholic Church, whether it was the Roman Catholic or the English Catholic Church, decided they didn't want it in the Bible, or they didn't want it in the newer books for the general populace, because somewhere along the line somebody decided it was blasphemy to talk about Christ being able to, or not Christ, but the disciples able to use the power of laying on hands, which in modern day terminology is, if you were sick and I had the gift and I put my hand on you and prayed to God, you would be healed right there and then. No waiting for answered prayers, because I was the medium between God and you. The church didn't want that, because it was like, wait a minute, somebody other than Jesus could lay hands and heal the sick? No, we don't want people to think they can do that. That, in fact, there's only one reference in the Bible, and it's called the wheel within the wheel, and it's in the Old Testament. I can't remember exactly where in the Old Testament, but there are speculations by various theologians that that was a UFO, that we had been visited by other life forms. They wanted it to sound more like something other than a UFO. Because at the time, you're looking up at the sky and you're seeing this weird object, and it looks like a giant wheel with a wheel spinning around inside of it. Modern day scientists would say that's a UFO. Now, I'm going by some of the information I've read, and I put those websites down on her comment. But that's one of the reasons why I don't speak a lot about religion, because the fact that my take and your take could be two different things, and you might go, that's not in the Bible. I'm not saying it's not in the Bible, but I'm not saying it's in the Bible. I'm saying that if you were to look at some of the wording of the text from King James, especially King James, you would have to, if you would have to think about some of it, because like a wheel within a wheel. What are they trying to transcribe? What are they trying to say? Okay, that in fact are the original text, the Aramaic, Hebrew, Latin, Greek, did not have proper vowels. Or was it vowels? I know there was a lot saying that there was no proper names, but I think proper nouns were one of the misconceptions. Or not misconceptions, misunderstandings. So it's one of those things where I don't read just one text. I know my main go-to Bible is the NIV. I am like some of the old school theologians. Some of the old school theologians didn't look at just one area of religious information. They took all the religious information they could to understand what was trying to be said, what the original people were trying to transpire, to get across. I mean, you got to look at some of the New Testament. Some of the New Testament was written by Peter and Paul, and both of them were either exiled or incarcerated. A lot of the letters that was written by Peter to the various churches was done while he was imprisoned. And unlike most prisoners, he wasn't in prison to the point where he was chained to a wall or anything like that. He was imprisoned by himself, separated from all the other inmates in I wouldn't say in a lavished single room or single apartment style prison, but he was basically guarded by two men. Only one person was allowed in and out. He was given food, drink. He was given everything he basically needed, including ink and parchment to write on. And he wrote these letters. Nobody tried to stop him. In fact, a lot of the stories that I've heard some people say or theologians say about Peter was, in fact, while he was imprisoned, the guards and the person who was in charge of the prison feared that if they tried to do any harm to Peter, that harm would come to them directly from God. So it's one of those things where you go, the way it sounded was like not only was Peter given everything he needed for his ministry, but nobody touched him. Nobody beat him. Nobody abused him. He was treated with VIP status, basically. Now, Paul, and I think it was Paul, maybe I got the two wrong, but one of them was imprisoned and treated like a VIP. The other one was exiled on an island somewhere in the Mediterranean. I can't remember the name of the island or whatnot, but he did his own ministries from that point too. So both Peter and Paul had ministries, but they didn't have one-on-one or group sessions. They wrote information. So it's one of those things where it's like, I hate to be saying this, but I'm going to say it anyhow. You can't take just one little itty bitty piece of a mosaic puzzle and say that this one piece is the be all, end all, when it's a piece of a mosaic puzzle. Now, I believe that each and every one of us has a God given amount of knowledge that cannot be book searched. It's ingrained in us by God. A piece of puzzle that we have to take with all the other pieces of puzzles from all the other people and place it in the right spot in the mosaic to get the big picture. Now, I say this because, in fact, it's not just me. There are some other people who feel the same way as I do. They're not in internet groups. They're individual people. Some of these individual people aren't even Christians. Okay? They're just other people with other beliefs. We might not follow their beliefs. We might not like their beliefs. We might not understand their beliefs. But they are I'm going to say godly people. They're people that might not be in mainstream Christianity. They might not be in Christianity whatsoever, but they have sparks, I guess you'd say, that are God-given. See, I believe this because, in fact, it says it right in the beginning of the Bible. God breathed the breath of life. He took his own life force energy and placed a piece of it in a person, Adam. Now, I'm not discluding Eve, but I'm just saying Adam was the first spark given from God to a body God made out of dirt. Eve was given a same spark, but God used a rib from Adam to create Eve. She was the second spark. And I believe that every child born, every person alive, has a spark given through the parent. And the very first parent was Adam and Eve. So you got to think about it. Even though there's all these branches from Adam and Eve, they all have God's spark. Anyhow, I'm going to end this because it's over an hour. And I have to probably start getting ready for work and get things done. But before I do leave, I'm going to leave you with this daily Bible verse. And it's from James 1:17 from the NIV. And it says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows." Wow. I didn't even read that before I said that my last bit of this vlog. I didn't read that. This is the first time I've ever read that. And it really comes close to what I just said. Wow. Anywho, sorry for the length of this video. I got a little carried away. I could have stopped, but I don't feel like stopping anymore. I really don't. I just want to go. I got so many things to do and so much going on up here. But anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Any questions or comments? And yes, freely give your 2 cents. Like I said yesterday, you can give your 2 cents whether I answer it, whether I put it in a comment, whether I do anything with your comment. That's my choice. But yeah, go ahead and give your 2 cents. Corrective, positive information and 2 cents would be better. But I'm not going to tell you not to put in whatever you feel like putting in. I read everybody's comments yesterday. Some of them I enjoyed. Some of them I was just kind of like, that don't make any sense. I don't think it had anything to do with what I was talking about, but I read it anyhow. Um, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. The beep, 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 beep. A bell, a bell will pop up, and you can click that, and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video or my newer videos. And until next time, be at peace. Be one with each other. Um, Understand each other's plights and dilemmas. Try to be helpful and not negative. Um, Try your best to live in harmony and peace with your neighbor. I know sometimes I sound like I don't, but in truth, it's one of those things where it's like I don't disrespect. I try to correct, and unfortunately, not everybody wants to listen. That's up to them, not you, not me. But yeah, be safe. Have a good day. God bless. See you next time. Bye.